Greetings out there, and Phil, one of the oily dogs. There's the other oily dog. That's Hammy. Yes, that's Hammy. All right, boys, you've made your appearance. Your other brother's missing, but we'll catch him later. All right, today on Oily Dog Racing, we have a nice little Porsche 356 made by Ninco. This just delivered today. Another one of my obsessive-compulsive eBay purchases. And it's not a bad-looking car. It has, it's got some suspension issues, which will probably be just a matter of snapping the axles back in, hopefully. If not, we'll address that as the time comes. I'm not too keen on this paint job. I know this is kind of one of the more rare cars. Of course, all of the Ninco classics are bringing some big money today. They're really nice cars, and unfortunately, nobody else makes this style. You know, the 356 Porsche, the 356 Porsche Speedster, the XK120 Jag, the Ferrari, the 59 Ferrari pontoon-fendered Testarossa. The 166 Ferrari, the Austin Healey. Anyways, they made a bunch of just beautiful, nice cars that you'd see back in the era. Even for some club racing too, some SCCA stuff. But this one is not. It's really nice, but as far as collector grade goes, I mean, this is not a shelf queen. It's got some paint damage, like on the yellow circle there. There's some scuffs and that in the hood. And again, like I say, I'm not really keen on the paint job. What I'm going to do is I'm going to strip this car completely, take all the chrome off, the glass, everything, and then I'm going to strip the body of paint, and I'll show you how I do that. And just a sneak preview. There goes the camera movement. Sorry, guys. That is what we're going to make her look like. That was the one of the cars that ran in Le Mans in 1959, I believe. So that's the model that I'm going to make. So hang on, and I'll show you what's up next. I have successfully removed all of the chrome bits and the windshield and the interior off the Porsche 356 body. Had to get the Dremel out and trim away. The pieces are all melted together from the factory, so I had to Dremel out a little bit. And when I did that, I just popped them out with a fine screwdriver. So I'm going to strip the paint completely off this body. And in order to do that, I've got a little tray here. It's an old bread muffin type tray, and 91% isopropyl alcohol. That's all it takes. So I'm going to put this in the tray, fill it up with the isopropyl alcohol, and then let it sit for about 24 hours. Well, some time has passed, so let's pull this out of the alcohol bath. Let's see what we have. Oh, yeah. That paint is more wrinkly than your grandmother. Let's see. That's just coming off in sheets. So, take my toothbrush here and just give it a little persuasion. And, oh yeah, look at that. All that tampo printing and all that paint is coming off in one fell swoop. Give her a dunk in the alcohol. I might have to soak her for a little bit longer because some of the thicker stuff, like the yellow, is not coming off right away. So we'll have to soak it for a couple more hours, and then it should come off no problem. Now, notice I'm not wearing gloves. A lot of people like to wear rubber gloves when they do everything, including working with acrylics, which I think is kind of overkill. I'm from the Midwest. I grew up drinking out of a garden hose. I deal with lacquers and enamels and all sorts of paint all the time. And guess what? I'm still walking this earth. But if you feel the need to protect yourself, I'm not going to say don't do it. It's just my choice. So this is what we have. You can see that paint came off real nice. So we're going to soak her for a little bit longer and get everything off of there. And then we're going to go to the next step. After a little bit more time in the soaking pot, I've got all of the paint off the body. It came out really nicely, as this technique generally does. This is going to give us a great platform in which to put our new color on. Also, by taking the body down, you're not going to see any rises, or I don't know if the word shadowing is the right. If you paint over something that's got numbers and sponsor decals and all sorts of other stuff on it, that's going to show up. Even if the color will be concealed, you'll still be able to see those markings in the form that their shape will still be there. So I like to remove everything down and start with a fresh palette. Now, when I was done with the, like I say, I used the 91% isopropyl alcohol, and this has got kind of a reddish tint to it because I've stripped a lot of cars with it, and it goes quite a long way. When I'm done with the car, I will put this little funnel in the top of the bottle. And I've got just a real basic a strainer, a very fine mesh strainer here that I set into the funnel like so, and then I pour the alcohol in it, and that strainer removes all of the big chunks and a lot of the material. So then the next time I go to use it, I won't have to deal with all of that garbage floating in there. You could see on the paper here how much material came off as well, and if you keep that out of the alcohol, you get to reuse it a number of times. I don't know how many times I've reused this bottle. I would say at least 10 so far. But the next step is we're going to, I don't know if the camera can show them up, but there's some fine, right on the back there's a fine molding line that runs the whole width of the back of the car. There's also a couple in the front by the, let's see if I can get my finger in there, right there, between the headlight and the hood, and then there's another fine one that runs right there on the fender. I'm going to take some 800 grit sandpaper and remove those. That way, once the car is painted, that'll be completely smooth. It'll look more like a real car. Those mold marks are part of the process of injection molding. They do a pretty good job on this particular one. They're not very pronounced, but we'll take them off and we'll go to the next step from there. Here's some progress on the Ninco Porsche 356 cars I've been working on. After I stripped them down completely of paint and tampo printing, I shot one in a brilliant silver, and then I mixed a metallic blue, to represent another car that I'm modeling. I was originally going to do the silver one in a Sebring motif that raced, I believe it was 59. But I found this place here, Le Mans Decals, and they're from Spain, and they make two sets for this car. They make the number 26, which is going on the silver car, and they also make the number 34, which is going to go on the blue car. and those represent the cars that ran Le Mans in 1956. So I'm going to take some of these decals out and start applying them to the silver car. I'm still waiting on the decals from the blue car. Hopefully they'll be here in the next few days. But I believe these are not cut out, so it looks like it's printed on one solid sheet. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to get my X-Acto knife out and carefully trim around them and then apply them. So I'm going to get to it and then show you the results. Well, a little time has passed, and I've gotten both of the bodies painted and decaled. The silver Porsche, I've already started putting the little chrome bits back on. These came out really nice, and they both have several coats of clear on them to protect those decals. But they came out rather nice with a nice gloss. These are both representative of historical cars that both raced at Le Mans. And I'd show you another one that I did here that I just completed this evening. Now, this is not a historical car in the sense that I could say when it was raced and who drove it. Let me put it on the block. It'll look a little better that way. But this one was this horrific red. I've never seen an uglier color red in my life, and I just could not stand it. So I stripped this using the same method, 91% isopropyl alcohol. Took it down to the bare plastic. Of course, before that, I removed all the chrome and the interior. The interior was black. I painted it red because I thought that really popped against a white car. Did a little detail like painting the turn signal lights. They were just plain old silver, and I painted those a nice orange color. And then I decaled it to represent just kind of a period 1960s C production race car. And it came out rather nice. I'm rather pleased with it. This was originally a hard top, or pardon me, not a hard top, but it had a convertible top. So I fabricated that roll bar out of some plastic. Gave the driver a little bit of a wash to highlight his racing suit. But that came out, oh, a little smudge there. That came out rather nice, and I'm very happy with that. So what I need to do next is to finish putting on the little bits of chrome on this silver car, and then do the same for the blue one as well. And here's another little interior part, and you can see just by doing a nice little color wash of a thinned out black, really brings all the accents to the driver's suit. I also shot the driver's interior with a clear flat too, because the gloss just didn't look right. I know when the car is whipping by at, ungodfully high speeds, no one's going to notice that, but I'll know it's there. So let's get the rest of these parts put on, and I'll show you what the finished product looks like. And here are the finished products. We have a nice little trio of Porsche 356s. All of the chrome bits have been glued back on. They've received no less than 4 coats of a clear gloss lacquer. Paul gauge urethane tires, which have been trued, and they are ready for the track. The car 34 and the car 26, I used decals. The car 63, I used dry transfer rub-on letters and numbers. That was just a kind of an Office Max type thing. They went on there nicely and were clear coated. The other 2 cars that were raced at Le Mans were, again, decals from Le Mans Decal. There's their website there. They've got a nice variety, a really nice variety of decals for all sorts of vintage cars. So I just talked about the white 63 a few moments ago, so let's focus on the other two cars that were raced at Le Mans in 1956. Okay, this is car 34. The final result of the race for this car was an NC, which means not classified. And the reason they did that for this particular vehicle is because they claimed it did not cover sufficient distance to be counted. So that's what happened with these guys here. Now, if you've seen my previous videos, what I like to do is I like to label the bottoms with driver information, the vehicle, the track, and the result. So let's flip this little guy over. And there we have it. There's the two drivers, the car, and the year it was raced, the track, and the result. And the reason I do this is I really enjoy the history of these vehicles, the history of motor racing, the history of the circuits, the drivers. Anything with vintage motorsports is just a very interesting subject. And I like to not only just build cars and race them, but I like to know the history behind them and what happened. It really makes the hobby, for me, a lot more enjoyable. Also, as I get older, I find that I don't tend to remember things as easily. Even though my daughter says, "Oh, come on, you know everything," I like to think I do, but that's obviously not the case. So those little notations help out. And when friends come over to race, they take a look at that, and they can appreciate the history as well. The other car, car 26, they did not do well either. They received a DNF, which is a phrase which means did not finish. What happened to this particular car is they got into an accident, and that put them out of commission. Again, it's really nice to connect with these little toy cars in the way that, and the knowledge of the real ones and what they did. So this was a very fun project. I took some cars that I wasn't happy with and just made them a lot prettier. And there you have it. Well, thanks for watching. We'll see what's next on the workbench. I've got a few more projects that I need to get going on. Well, y'all have a good day now. Bye-bye.